Alrighty, guys. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday, February 4th, my friends. We got ourselves another update for y'all. Actually, we have a winter situation on our hands that we are going to need to talk about here. Anyways, guys, welcome. It's been a few days. How have you guys been? Y'all been doing good? Let's see who we got here today. We got Drew, we have Crystal, we got Mark, we have Jazz. Jazz saying, hey, y'all, it's been a long time since I caught the live. Glad to be back. I hope everyone is having a pleasant evening. You as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome. What's up, Crystal? What's up, Misty? Saying hello, everyone. What's up? What's up, SL Sully? Let's see here. But what's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing good. So, yeah, we got ourselves a little bit of activity starting to happen. Real quick, I'm going to turn down the brightness on my camera. It is, like, really bright for some reason, so we're going to turn that down a little bit. Anyways, so yeah, we do have ourselves a system that we're watching here. Actually, we already got some ice storm warnings, all kinds of fun stuff starting to pop up where they've been here for a little bit. But we do have ice storm warnings. We do have a lot of winter weather advisories going on. You can see on the upper water vapor scan how there's a lot of water vapor present across the, like the northern central plains, out there towards the Midwest and whatnot. All of that's going to work its way eastward, as we're getting ready to see on the models, in which, we're going to have some decent icing with this event coming up here, especially for like the mid-Atlantic region. Some folks out there towards like Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia could be in for quite a bit of ice. But we'll get into that here in a minute. What's up, Zach? What's up, Darin? Is that how you say your name? Darin, hope you're doing good. Let's see. What's up, Jamie? Hope you're doing well. K-Jack says, hi, Andrew, and everyone. What's up? What's up? Anything from Calvert County, Maryland? Yeah, all of Maryland, for the most part, is pretty much in the advisories, for the most part, or at least in some form of advisory. Here, let's turn off the satellite for a minute. And then we're going to turn on our counties here, so I can kind of show you guys where that's at. So, yeah, those advisories work their way all the way up into Northern Virginia here. You can kind of see Prince William, Fauquier County. Some of you guys are in the lower portion of those advisories. However, I know it's a little bit hard to be able to tell what's an ice storm warning and what's a winter weather advisory. So, in order to help that, I am going to do something for you guys. Let's change the ice storm warnings to yellow. That way you guys can kind of see them. There you go. So there's the ice storm warning. You guys can see them in yellow here. So basically, you have portions of eastern West Virginia, little bits of, especially those upper elevations here into like the Blue Ridge Mountains and whatnot out there by the Shenandoah Valley. We do have that. Let's see here. Jazz! Welcome to Category 2. I appreciate your subscription. Thank you so much. Huge shout out goes to Jazz. Thank you for your support. I don't know why my alert box didn't work, but I heard it. But Jazz, thank you so much for that. Welcome to Cat 2. I appreciate it. So, yeah, we do have ice storm warnings up in, like, the Shenandoah Valley area here. Blue Ridge Mountains, a bit of icing is expected out there. Let's see, total sleet accumulations up to, total sleet accumulations up to 1 inch, and ice accumulations between 2 and 3/10 of an inch. That is, wow. Okay, I knew it was pretty serious, but, like, sleet accumulations up to 1 inch. Yeah, buddy, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, you can see those ice storm warnings. They actually really worked their way up into Pennsylvania too. East of Pittsburgh, where those warnings are, Pittsburgh is actually in a winter weather advisory. East of Pittsburgh is where those ice storm warnings are. That is actually kind of crazy. And you can actually see that those do go down pretty far down into West Virginia, as far south as like Lewisburg. Yeah, Lewisburg area, West Virginia. Accumulations around 3/10 of an inch. That's a lot. And honestly, 3/10 of an inch is enough to cause power outages and all kinds of impacts, all kinds of problems. So you got to really be careful out there, guys. Seriously, please make sure that y'all are prepped and ready to go. A lot of this winter weather here is going to be taking place pretty much for the later portion of tomorrow is kind of when this is really going to start, and it'll happen overnight into the 6th overall. Let's see here. Is Ohio going to get some ice? So Ohio is actually, there's a few winter weather advisories in Ohio. Might get a little bit, but it's not going to be as significant as areas east of Ohio. For your area, because obviously you're original here, Crystal. I remember where you're at. You're not going to be in really any big problem with this, so don't worry about it. Is Missouri getting ice? So, actually, we do have another set of winter weather advisories. So, northern Missouri actually might get a little bit of ice. Yes, it just depends on where you're at, of course. But yeah, speaking of, I mean, yeah, northern Missouri actually really well could see some ice. So, it just depends where you're at, like I mentioned. You know, this is all north of Kansas City, north of St. Louis. You know, some of the areas that is impacted potentially is like Kirksville, Trenton, Moberly, you know, Maryville. So, some of those areas up in the northern portion of not St. Louis, not St. Louis, Missouri, is, yes, in that risk overall. What's up, Scott? Saying hi, Andrew, and everyone else. It's 30s. Let's see, 30s was misting rain. Exit 210 I-35 coming back home from Emporia, Kansas. Wow. Well, be careful out there, my friend. Let's see here. What about Red Hook, New York? So there's really not going to be a lot of New York impacted with this. But yes, actually, yeah, you're in that region. So southern New York, yeah. So you're actually in an advisory. We're going to be seeing a bit of snow up there towards you, possibly right around like 1 to 3 inches from the official National Weather Service forecast. So that's that. Here in a second, guys, we're going to look at the models. So we're going to get to that here in a minute. Why did they downgrade the winter storm watch to a winter weather advisory in Butler, Pennsylvania? Probably because it just didn't warrant a winter storm warning. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you, because I haven't been following up with that region. But usually if they have a watch in place and it doesn't materialize, it just means that it's not needed. However, you know, never know if they're going to need to update it, because I mean we are still about a day out from this, because this is going to really start tomorrow night is kind of when everything's going to start to play out. So there could be upgrades, possibly. I'm not saying there will, but there could be. So hey, we'll see what happens. This is not going to be very fun to play with. This is Misty. Yeah, you're telling me it's going to be pretty impactful. So just make sure you guys are like, you know, ready to go. Make sure, you know, generators work. Make sure, you know, whatever. Have enough food to last you a couple weeks, honestly. I always tell you to do that during these ice storm warnings and stuff like that, or these ice storms in general. Yeah, because, you know, you're going to want to have a stockpile. So if you can, you know, just go out, grab some food, non-perishable stuff, you know, if you can. I mean, because ice can trap you for a couple of days, in which, you know, you just want to make sure you're on top of this. I mean, you know, ice is very heavy, as you guys probably know, in which, you know, the heaviness of the ice really weighs down on trees and power lines. So basically the power lines really get pulled down and they can just snap on their own. But also, you know, because of the excess weight of ice on these tree limbs and whatnot, those tree branches can fall on power lines and cause them to snap, causing you to lose power, causing road blockages, you name it. So if you can, you know, it would be heavily advised that you bring some non-perishable food stuff, because, I mean, if you think about it, honestly, it's going to be cold enough where you can put a lot of your refrigerated stuff outside. Just keep an eye on the temperature. But, you know, that's something that I used to actually do when I lived up north, was during these crazy winter storms, and say we lost power, I just put all the refrigerated stuff like in the snow, and it seemed to work. But there's not going to be a lot of snow for this system here. It's mostly going to be ice, but temperatures will still be cold enough to keep things relatively frozen for the most part. Steve says, how's everyone doing? I'm doing good, man. Hope you're doing good yourself. But I'm just kind of trying to, you know, help you guys out, give you all some advice and whatnot, you know, based off what I used to do growing up. That's what we always did. Let's see. Missy says going outside in the ice is very dangerous and slippery. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, it's dangerous to travel in. And like I mentioned, I mean, it causes trees to come down, power lines to come down. It can be a mess. So just make sure you're prepped for it, guys. You know, you have all of tonight. Like I said, this is not going to really start to become a problem until like tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. That's when everything's going to really start to pop off. Actually, let's hop to models. Actually, I was saying we're going to look at the models, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. So this is NAM 3K. This is just, you know, once again, one model run. One model. You guys can follow along in the time in the top right. If you guys see up here where my cursor's at, above that, that's your time. But that is also an Eastern time, so just a bit of a heads up there. Anyway, so yeah, you can see throughout tonight, as we approach throughout this evening, really not a lot of anything happening out here towards the Mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, New England. Not really a lot going on. It's not until tomorrow you can start to see where we start to build in some moisture. So here's like 7, 8 p.m. So this time tomorrow, you can start to see some sleet and mostly just freezing rain at this point falling across the way. So, a lot of freezing rain and a lot of sleet will really start to pick up late tomorrow night, which will carry on into the morning of the 6th here, which will, once again, drive a lot of ice, especially for those upper elevations there where it's going to be below freezing or at that freezing point. So that's why we do have a lot of ice storm warnings for those upper elevations because, with the extra little bit of elevation, lower air pressure, it is cooler up there. That is allowing for, more ice to be, and that's actually a really big problem. If you guys think about it, if you get a lot of ice in upper elevations like mountains and whatnot, they become slick. And, being on an inclination is not very good. So keep that in mind. That is a thing. With the, the inclination of the mountain, the ice falling on the mountain, yeah, you can kind of see where that could go. So just please be careful. Now, all of this mesh should be out of the Mid-Atlantic here pretty much by afternoon on the 6th. However, at this point, this system will kind of transition from a mostly ice to somewhat of a snowstorm as well. The later cycle of the storm's life here, as you can kind of see as represented from the NAM 3K model, you can actually see here that there is going to be a little bit of snow actually building onto the system up there for New England. So perhaps some areas like, New York State, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine will get a little bit of snow out of this system. The whole system itself should be out by the evening of the 6th. So, once again, guys, for a little bit of a timing, if you're just tuning in here, the event is starting here pretty much tomorrow night for the most part, going through the morning of the 6th here, in which, obviously we approach our way into the 6th, and of course, that's whenever we reach the evening of the 6th, that's whenever it starts to really, or the morning going into the afternoon evening of the 6th, that's whenever it starts to really transition into snow, more than just ice, essentially. Let's see here. Jazz says, I'm in the southwest corner of Michigan. We're pretty much clear from this round, aren't we? So, yeah, let's hop west a little bit. Let's go up to the Midwest here. So, you being up there in Michigan, honestly, yeah, you guys aren't really going to be seeing too much. I mean, there could be little spurts of, a little bit of freezing rain here and there, a little bit of ice, but it's not going to be anything significant enough. However, areas like, Illinois and whatnot, they actually do have advisories and stuff out for you folks. Winter weather advisories from pretty much central southern Iowa going up into northern Missouri. We do have advisories. Here, let me go ahead and bring up that map for you guys so you guys can see that. So here you go. Here's the advisory map. You can see that, yeah, the Weather Service does have advisories in effect for some of those areas. Even a few little counties in extreme southeastern Nebraska as well. A couple little counties out there. But yeah, regarding your question, Jazz, yeah, it's going to be pretty much fine for you folks. But, don't be surprised if you see like little sprinkles of, freezing rain and whatnot. It's going to be possible, but it's not going to be anything significant like it's going to be up here towards like the Mid-Atlantic. Yeah, the Mid-Atlantic and those upper elevations, those are going to be the areas we really need to look out for. Those are going to be like the heaviest impacted areas overall. Let's see here. Robin says, I want spring. I agree with you. You know what? I'm ready for my thunderstorms. I miss thunderstorms. Not the destruction some of them can cause, but, I just miss the booms, Something about it. Jill says, hi, Andrew. Hope you're feeling better. I'm doing a lot better. Thank you. I appreciate that. There's a lot of COVID around parts of Michigan. They're saying, hold on, what? COVID around the parts of Michigan. They say it's going to do an ice storm on Thursday. Michigan, as of now, here, maybe that's a long-range thing. Here, let's look into that. I didn't have COVID, by the way. I had the stomach bug. It's like going crazy in Florida right now. So yeah, so you can see here right around the 6th, according to GFS, it shows a little bit of activity rolling through, but if you look at the NAM, you can see the much higher resolution. It's just not as defined. Honestly, for Michigan, actually, this is for the 8th. This is within reasonable time frame, actually. This is for February 8th. It kind of does show maybe a winter system impacting towards, the upper Ohio Valley. We will see. You know what? We'll actually see how that plays out. We'll keep an eye on that one, too. We'll keep an eye on that storm. And according to GFS here, it does... Oh, buddy. So I'm actually cycling between different runs of the GFS, and you can see that it's been pretty persistent, maybe even with some ice. So we're going to need to look into that, guys. For the 7th going into the 8th, it looks like we're going to have another potential winter storm. Going up to New England around the 9th. Confidence is high, actually. You know what? Confidence is pretty high. Considering that the last several runs of GFS is pretty spot on. You know what? Let me look at Euro. It's good to obviously compare. Yeah, honest. Hey, man, there you go. Euro. I mean, it's on board as well. Nearly identical. You know what? Yeah. We're going to have to keep an eye on it, y'all. So that's going to pop off for the 8th. Another storm. So, yeah, not only do we have this guy that we're watching right now, there's actually another one behind it. Pattern-wise, looking at the states as a whole, we might be heading into a pretty active time for winter storms and stuff like that. Before I forget, here, let me go ahead and bring y'all back over here to this page real quick. There's actually a risk for severe weather, including tornadoes. I forgot to mention that so far. Let's go ahead and actually do this real quick. So we're gonna disable the warnings and advisories for now, just to kind of keep the map clear and whatnot. So if we hop over here to SPC tomorrow, actually today we don't have anything going on. So tomorrow we do have a marginal level 1 severe weather threat. So heads up to folks out in Kentucky and Tennessee, because we do have a little bit of an active risk. I don't think we're going to need to do live coverage on this tomorrow, considering that the threat's a marginal. I mean, yes, it's still a risk for severe weather and, potentially damaging storms. However, it's low enough, I don't think we're going to need to do coverage. Now, if there is, like, tornadoes that actually really start popping off and whatnot, then, of course, we'll go live. But generally speaking, I'm not expecting to do coverage on this tomorrow. But we do have ourselves a marginal level 1 threat for tomorrow, severe weather-wise. This does include some areas like Nashville. Doesn't mean you will get severe weather. It just means you're in the active risk area where severe storms could be present. Also does include areas like just northeast of Memphis here. Jackson, Tennessee, Clarksville, some of those areas are included. Bowling Green, Kentucky, Campbellsville. Some of those regions there are in the active risk. Now, like I mentioned, there is a tornado threat tomorrow. Actually, we do have that 2% chance, so we cannot rule out a couple of tornadoes tomorrow. Once again, the odds are, pretty darn low. If we did get tornadic activity, it would likely remain fairly weak and brief, meaning it won't last that long, more than likely. The environment's not necessarily super potent for tornadoes, but there can be a couple tornadoes tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. Some of these areas here, it's possible. But, a tornado or two cannot be ruled out tomorrow. Damaging winds, we do have that 5% chance. So, once again, nothing super crazy, just a lower-end severe weather risk here. We do have a potential for some gusty winds up to right around 60 miles an hour on some storms that do fire off tomorrow. And lastly, hail. Yeah, we don't really have a hail threat for tomorrow. But yeah, I did want to mention that actually with you guys. And here's what we're gonna do. Actually, we're gonna hop over to models again. This time we're gonna look in depth. I'm gonna bring this over here. We're gonna look more in depth into severe weather in this stream. I kind of want to look at what kind of risk we're dealing with. I actually honestly waited to look at the models, the latest model runs with you guys for going live this evening. I kind of waited to. But yeah, you can kind of see though, like tomorrow evening, out here towards like Tennessee, you can see a bunch of like clumps of thunderstorms that pops up through the region. Portions of Kentucky, Tennessee could get some, multi-cellular thunderstorm activity. It does seem quite possible. Now, hopping over to, like, let's say RAP here, for example, you can kind of see all those storms that do kind of work their way through the region here. Lower level jet stream, you know what? Tomorrow evening, we're going to be talking about 40, 50 knots, which, I mean, it's decent. It's decent. The only thing that's, once again, going to be kind of limiting this factor is the amount of instability, but there is enough. You can see, definitely. I mean, we're not in excess of 1,000 joules per kilogram, but we are within the range of enough instability for severe weather and whatnot. We do actually have a few pockets that do get up towards, not quite 1,000, but enough instability, essentially. Dew points here in the 60s. You know what? Moisture's there. Instability's there. Wind shear's there. Yeah, man. Honestly, I see why they put that risk out there. So, yeah, I mean, everything's in place for storms. So, the timing of that, actually, guys, is going to be tomorrow. Let's see here. It looks like tomorrow, possibly an overnight threat, actually. Tomorrow night, going into the morning of the 6th, whenever all this ice is happening, too, we might need to do coverage. You know what? There is a possibility we might need to do coverage for this. Now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, with the ice and everything, look at all that. Here's HRRR, by the way, guys. With all the, all the ice and stuff going on too, and all that storm activity. Yeah, we might need to go live for that, actually. So, we'll keep y'all posted. I mean, yeah, it does look like a decent little setup here. For February, it's a decent little setup. Nothing, extremely crazy or anything like that, but it is enough to spark off some storms and some severe weather. So we'll get into that. We'll do more updates on that tomorrow. Let's see here. Drew says, is there going to be an advisory for Southern Maryland? Probably not. Depends on how far south, but if you're talking like Southern Maryland, along like the Chesapeake Bay, more than likely no. Because thing is, for one, also, coastal areas do remain a little bit warmer typically because of the water's influence around them. The waters actually take a lot longer to cool down and heat up, which can, allow for the coastal areas to be a little bit warmer. But yeah, let me bring up the HRRR. Actually, we're on the 0 Zulu here. I don't think it's done rendering, but yeah. Here, let's hop back to 18. Go back to the latest long run of the HRRR here. But yeah, you can see essentially what I was just talking about here is that the areas along the coast are just going to be relatively just too warm for any of that activity, except up towards like more of interior New England. Essentially, you can see that there's going to be some winter weather activity out there towards like New Jersey's coast, towards like New York City and whatnot, and which will be driving some snow through some of those regions out there. But yeah, and my main concern, y'all, is going to be those upper elevations, man. Some of those areas up there in the Blue Ridge. I mean, we do got those ice storm warnings in effect there. We'll go ahead and bring those back up for you guys so you can see them. Those are going to be my main concern for you folks. I really just want to make sure you guys are, staying weather aware. Make sure you guys know, the active risks that's going on here. And like I mentioned, if you guys are just tuning in here, the yellow on my map here, this is ice storm warnings. This is where heavy ice is expected. So out there by, actually, I used to go here all the time growing up. So out here by the Shenandoah Valley, we do have an ice storm warning in effect for those upper elevations here. So this is, look at this, total snow and sleet accumulations up to 1 inch. Ice accumulations between 2 and 3/10 of an inch out there. Did that change? Total snow and sleet accumulations. I think before it said total sleet accumulations up to 1 inch, didn't it? But yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of ice involved here. look at this one, between 3 and 5/10 of an inch. That's up to a half of an inch of ice. You know, it really doesn't take much ice to cause some problems. I mean, 3/10 of an inch, that's a lot of ice already. You know, that's enough to cause a bunch of issues. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring this back up again here real quickly. Let me bring up the HRR model, the HRRR, and then we're going to hop to, actually, we're going to do, what is this, freezing rain accumulation? Yeah, probably the best, actually. Let's hop back to 18 Zulu. So this is one model, by the way. This is just a suggestion, or just an idea, possible scenario. So a lot of the region, you know, between like Northern Virginia's upper elevations and like Maryland and like West Virginia, we're going to see a pretty widespread amount of at least 2 to 3/10 of an inch. This is, once again, one model as well. According to this model run, out there by like the far western side of Maryland, towards like the panhandle of West Virginia here, we could be talking significant amounts of ice, possibly upwards of a half an inch or so, a little bit greater. Let's look at the wrap here. You know, it's obviously good to compare different models. It's never good to just be biased to one, so that's why we're going to look at different models as well. Same story, really. I mean, a lot of the areas like in Northern Virginia, especially those upper elevations and whatnot, we're going to be dealing with at least, you know, 1, 2, 3/10 of an inch or so. Could get locally higher, up to a half of an inch or so. In some areas, either between like southwestern Pennsylvania or like western Maryland, Panhandle, West Virginia. As you can see, that's also carried over from the HRRR onto the RAP model. The RAP also agrees with that. NAM here, yeah, local amounts, man, could be well upwards of a half of an inch of ice. So don't be surprised if you do see some of those values. I'd say especially up there towards like you know, Pennsylvania and whatnot, could be in some serious ice concerns. But yeah, it's, you know what, man, it's going to be a pretty heavy hitter from what it looks like. Here's the GFS, much lower resolution, but kind of same idea generally speaking. So bottom line, make sure you guys are weather aware. Please be careful out there. Once again, we do have a lot of ice storm warnings in place. There's going to be a lot of icy roads out there, so you know, don't take any risks. Honestly, please make sure that you know, you do have some non-perishable foods, water as well. You know, expect to lose power in those yellow areas. You know, expect to lose power because those are ice storm warnings, and you know, the ice is going to be really heavy on those power lines, and you know, and there's trees which could fall on the power lines and whatnot. So it's just going to be a bit of a mess. And, you know, once again, kind of a big issue as well is the fact that these are like upper elevational areas, you know, where you're on a slope here, and say you're right here, you know, obviously with slick conditions, you could slide down the mountain and slide down the hills and whatnot. So that's dangerous in itself. So just please be careful. You know, if you're up there in those upper elevations, that is another hazard that you got to take into consideration here. DC area as well. Got some winter weather advisories, you know, mostly like sleet and whatnot for those areas down towards like the DC area. Not going to be seeing hardly any, if any, snow. However, the areas up north, though, like towards like southern New York State, Massachusetts and whatnot, those are going to be areas that are going to actually be dealing with snowfall. Now, talking snowfall totals and whatnot, here, let's go back here again. We'll go hop back to our models real quick. Let's do HRRR. Let's just take a look at the latest guidance. We are going to look at the snowfall totals here. So, honestly, it really doesn't appear we're going to be getting a lot of heavy snow. I mean, yeah, this is not going to be a really crazy storm for snowfall and whatnot. However, we're going to be dealing with some, you know, some amounts possibly like 2 to 4 inches according to HRRR here. Let's look at some other models. RAP here. Okay, RAP's actually a little bit more aggressive. than the HRRR was. You can actually see the wrap here suggests with the latest run we got, the 21 Zulu. Actually, sorry, that's not the latest one. The latest one's coming in, but the latest full run that we have, does actually suggest some pretty high amounts in some of those areas of like central Pennsylvania. And throughout coastal New England, areas up at like New York City and whatnot, could be in the realm of more like 3 to 5 according to RAP. Let's see NAM here. NAM, oh, wow. NAM barely shows any at all, man. That's crazy. Honestly, NAM is mostly 2 to 4. That's what I would really just kind of lock in on, is just expect around like 2 to 4 or whatnot, because that's what most of the models are kind of agreeing with here. Is within the range of around 2 to 4 inches or so. So we'll keep you guys posted. Once again, we're gonna do another update on this tomorrow. I'm gonna go more in depth tomorrow. We're gonna do another update tomorrow afternoon. I think I'm gonna do an afternoon update tomorrow too. I might do 2 live streams tomorrow, one during the afternoon and then another during the evening, which coverage might be needed during the evening actually. So we will possibly do some coverage tomorrow. Today, like I said, not today. Tomorrow afternoon, we're not going to do coverage per se, but we're going to be doing, just an update. And then tomorrow evening, we'll do possible coverage. So, and if not, we'll just do another update at that point. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted with everything. Once again, just, hey, y'all, please be careful out there. Make sure that you guys are, staying weather aware and everything. We got a lot of winter weather going on out west as well. California is actually getting a lot of precipitation right now. If I hop you guys over here to the, let's see here. If I hop you all over here to the radar, nation radar currently, you can see, that California is getting a pretty good amount of precipitation out there right now. Much of the other part of the country is dry for now, for the most part. But that's going to change. That's going to change tomorrow. We're going to start to see a lot of ice and whatnot to start working its way throughout, portions of the Midwest and, a little bit of the Ohio Valley, especially the Mid-Atlantic and whatnot. You guys are going to be getting it pretty good. So just be careful. JT says, just jumping in. Thank you for your show. No problem. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know as well. You are very, very welcome, my friend. But yeah, so once again, my main concerns is you guys in yellow here. These are the ice storm warnings. Once again, the advisory areas, still keep an eye on it because there is going to be some impacts. Advisories are there to advise you of hazards, which, even advisories can be problematic. But those ice storm warnings, that's where the real heavy stuff is going to be, more than likely. Now, let me look at the winds here. That's something I have not looked at. Winds can also be a problem. Let's look at the wind gusts here. I'm not sure how strong those winds are going to get. Let's hop down to Mid-Atlantic here. This is the 18 Zulu HRRR. So the good news is it doesn't look like the winds are going to be absurdly crazy. Here, let's hop to NAM here. Actually, sorry, RAP. I don't think. I thought this program here. Let me hop to a different website here. I thought that one had other models that kind of showed the winds, I guess, as well. But anyways, yeah. Let me bring up another model here for y'all's. There we go. Okay, so let's hop over to the local area to where the impacts are going to be. Actually, let's do regional, Mid-Atlantic here. And we will do, let's see here. Okay, let's hop over here to that, and we'll do surface, and we'll go down to wind gusts here. We'll just take a look at those wind gusts here. These are miles an hour, by the way. Wow, actually, you know what? Late the 6th, going into the 7th, it's actually going to get pretty windy up there in the Northeast. Y'all see that? So this is like early the 7th. We could have some winds in upwards of like 40 miles an hour and whatnot. I mean, during this event, a lot of the heaviest activity here during the event is going to be for basically tomorrow night going into the morning here of the 6th. So it looks like a lot of the winds are going to be really kicking up after the event rolls through. But it could still definitely be a little gusty out there for some of those regions there. You can see the GFS for the 6th here. But it looks like a lot of those winds might be after the main of the impacts, you know, with the ice and everything like that. So, anyways, see, Misty says strong wind gusts. Yeah, I mean 30, 40 miles an hour after here. Yeah, I mean that's for the 7th. That's in the morning of the 7th. Tomorrow night, going into the morning of the 6th, is where the heaviest of that stuff's going to be. For example, this is the afternoon of the 6th, and at this point, the system's mostly through. You know, still little bits of lingering ice, you know, towards like Pennsylvania and whatnot. A lot of the heavy ice at this point will be done with for the afternoon of the 6th. But hey, you know what? Still could be dealing with a bit of snow. You know, this is also a possibility. You know, dealing with some snowfall up in like northern New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Hey, I mean, even out there in coastal New England, you know, portions like, you know, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, even New York State could get a little bit of snowfall and whatnot. So, you know, keep that in mind. But, you know, once again, I mean, the snow is not going to be anything super crazy. You know, snowfall wise, 2 to 4 inches for the most of the impacts and stuff. Yeah, see this. Some of these areas have like up to 2 inches. So you know, I'd say at max about like 4 inches or so is going to be. That's what most of the models kind of laid on. But some local areas could obviously be a little bit higher. But so not a whole lot of snow in this event. This is mostly just going to be like an ice storm, like we mentioned here, for a lot of those upper elevations. That's where the main problem is going to be. Crystal says, "Get injured to 30K." Hey man, we're close. I think we'll hit it here within the next couple of months, probably. I really do. You know, especially once we work our way into severe weather season, I think we'll reach our goal by then, which I'm hoping so. But if you guys haven't already, consider leaving a like, subscribing. It'd be greatly appreciated. Hey, the most important thing you guys can do to help out on the channel is share this. You know, copy the link, share it to a friend or a family member. Just help spread the word. That way that, you know, other people can stay alert with the weather as well. We mostly focus on the main 48 states here, but you know, occasionally, obviously, during the tropics, we cover you know, all the Atlantic. Don't really cover Alaska. Sometimes Hawaii, like I mentioned, if there's a tropical cyclone. But we mostly focus on the main 48. So most of the people in the U.S. We do cover. So. Jazz says, definitely hit 30K when the storm hit. I think so, man. I really do. I really do. Once again, I'm very, very thankful. I appreciate you guys very, very much for the people who have subscribed and have stuck around. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much. But anyways, folks, well, if you guys have any questions before I roll off for tonight, I'm actually going to go make some bacon here in a little bit. Me and my mom are going to make some breakfast for dinner. So I need to go make some bacon here. But if you guys have any questions before we roll off, let me know. Throw it down in the chat. We'll be more than happy. Hey, you know what, y'all? We'll do some zip codes. You guys want to do some zip codes? We'll do some zip codes here. Let me help you out with that. So if you guys don't know how this works, say you're in the winter impact area. Say you think you're going to be impacted by weather. You throw down a zip code. For example, let's do, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if I can remember this. Manassas. Here we go. Yep. This is where I was born, actually. So, yeah, you can see I bring up the zip code. It just gives you a general idea. And then, of course, I can look at the advisory. Total sleet accumulations up to 1 inch. Just, you know, if you guys want to have y'all's forecast read. Bacon. Yeah, dude. That sounds pretty good. All right, Misty, I got you. Let's see, 63334. That is, I tell you what, man, that 63334. That is like the most easiest zip code you could ever remember. All right, look at this. So you're actually in an advisory. Got a level, or what am I saying? Level. You got an advisory. You know, so there is an advisory. Freezing rain expected. Total ice accumulations around a light glaze, which Impact-wise, shouldn't be anything crazy, honestly. Light glaze isn't really anything that shuts down places. It's just enough that could cause maybe some slippery sidewalks and whatnot, but really not a lot to cause any super, super big problems. So not super concerned for your area, but don't be surprised if there is a few slick spots. Yeah, can't roll that out. What's up, Brandy? All right, Janice, let's see, 03062, gotcha, 03062. This is up in New Hampshire. We got ourselves... actually, you know what? You're not in any advisory, but you're right next to the one just south of you in Massachusetts, between 1 and 4 inches. I think you will get some snow out here. Yeah, the models, if we go ahead and pull this up here, the models actually did suggest that we do get a little bit of snow out there. You can see. Yeah, I would roll between, I can't even English right now. I would do the same. I would expect about like 1 to 4 inches or so, because I mean you're right on that same line essentially. But possible changes. We'll see. We'll do another update tomorrow for you guys too. Alrighty, let's see here. Jamie 12205, gotcha. 12205. You're up in New York, my friend. So you're actually not in an advisory here. South of Albany, we do have one. Between 1 and 3 inches of snowfall and ice accumulations around 1/10 of an inch or so. Of course, while there will, certainly be some winter weather out there, more than likely, snowfall and whatnot. As of now, there's no advisory. The higher north you go, the harder it is to get an advisory or a warning issued because of the fact that some areas are more tolerable to winter weather than others. Like, for example, down south, if you got even a hint of ice, a trace, there would be at least an advisory. Meanwhile, if you had like a trace of ice up north, they ain't gonna issue an advisory. It is different. Criteria is different in different locations. But yeah, you're not in that. You're not in that. All right, let's see here. Brandy 63116. Gotcha. 63116. St. Louis, we do not have an active concern. Actually, I think most of the activity is going to be to your north anyways. Yep. No, honestly, St. Louis is fine. Typically, cities do stay, a good couple of degrees warmer anyways. I do think you'll be fine. All right, let's see here. Liam wants me to take a look at 16046. Gotcha. 16046. This is up in Pennsylvania. You, my friend, are in a winter weather advisory. Freezing rain expected. Total ice accumulations from 1 to 2/10 of an inch, and up to an inch of snow is also possible. So yeah, 1 to 2/10 of an inch is enough to cause, some minor problems. It's not as significant as those areas in the ice storm warnings, of course, but it is enough to cause some slick roads and whatnot, slick spots, and overall, could be hazardous. So yeah, keep an eye on it. Luckily you're not in the heaviest of the stuff, but keep an eye on it. Let's see here. JT says, I appreciate you. Your channel really helped me out in January when I was snowed out for 2 weeks. Wow, returning home. Thank you. I really appreciate that, JT. And I'm glad to have you here, and I'm glad I could help out. You're very, very welcome. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. All right, let's see here. Julie wants me to take a look at 42642. Gotcha. 42642. Let's see here. Kentucky. We do not have any... Actually, I do have something to share with you, though. We do not have any active winter weather concerns. However, we do have a bit of severe weather actually expected here. Oh, my goodness, dude. Kathleen is coming in with a $30 Cash App donation. Holy cow. Kathleen, if you're in the chat, thank you so much for the support. Kathleen with a $30 Cash App donation. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much, Kathleen. I appreciate your support. That helps us out a ton. More than you could ever imagine. So thank you so much, Kathleen. That is greatly appreciated. Huge shout out goes to you, my friend. But thank you. Seriously, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know, please. Really appreciate that. Let me see if there's a note attached to that. It says, thank you, Drew. You're very welcome. Thank you. Seriously. Huge shout out goes to you, Kathleen. I appreciate your support once again. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see here. Julie. Oh, yeah. So, Julie, you're actually in that marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow. So you can see you're into level 1 severe weather risk. Odds of you getting severe weather and whatnot is, well, not anything super high or anything like that. However, there is a little bit of severe weather possibility out there. You know, a couple of isolated tornadoes can't be ruled out. You know, a tornado or two possible tomorrow. You know, the odds of you getting that is very low, so I wouldn't really worry about it. But just keep it on the radar in case. Damaging winds, we got a 5% chance, you know, for some gusty winds, you know, possibly up to right around 60 miles an hour or so in terms of gusts. Thankfully, no hail tomorrow or no significant or severe hail is expected tomorrow at all. So that is good. That is good news. So, you know, just keep an eye on it. A little bit of severe weather can't be ruled out. Let's see here. Cass says you're welcome, Drew. Thank you too. Seriously, thank you. I really appreciate that. Once again, huge shout out goes to you, Kath. I appreciate that. What's up, Lake Effect? Hope you're doing good. Jamie says thank you so much. You're very welcome. Of course, no problem. But yeah, guys, like I mentioned, if you guys have any zip codes or anything like that you want me to take a look at, feel free to, like I mentioned, throw it in the chat. I'll be more than happy to help. We'll be live here a little bit longer, about 13 more minutes. I'm going to head off here. Probably around 9, actually, at 9 o'clock, because I'm going to go make some late dinner. But yeah, like I mentioned, yeah, if you guys have any zip codes, and if you don't know how this works, you just throw down your zip code. I'll plug it in my program here. For example, once again, Manassas here, Virginia, winter weather advisory, whatnot, and I'll let you know like what you're in for. I'm doing this just to make sure you guys are kind of, you know, locally aware of what you can expect. I mean, because it does range. It does range between a lot of people. That's the thing. You know, it's not the same for everybody. JMC wants me to take a look at 06359. Gotcha. Let's see here. 06359. Gotcha. Okay, so you, my friend, are in a winter weather advisory. Let's see. So this is from the National Weather Service, by the way. Total snow and sleet accumulations up to 2 inches. So between the sleet and between the snow could be up to right around 2 inches. And ice accumulations regarding like freezing rain could be up to about 1/10 of an inch, which isn't a whole lot, but it could cause some slick spots. Which, yeah, it did warrant an advisory. So just keep an eye on it. There definitely could be some impacts out there. But is it anything significantly crazy? No. But, you know, it's something. It's not going to be anything super crazy. Just still be careful because it could still be hazardous. But overall, nothing super wild. Stacy wants me to take a look at 37821. Gotcha. 37821 up in Tennessee. So we do not have any form of winter weather concerns out here right now. Severe weather-wise, so yeah, your area is fine. Actually, you're going to be relatively good. I mean, you might get some rain, some precipitation. Perhaps, let me double check. I do think you might be in the general thunderstorm risk, yeah. So there could be some booms of thunder, considering you're in the generalized thunderstorm risk. But severe weather, nope. Winter weather, nope. A little bit of rain, yep. You know, maybe some booms of thunder here and there couldn't be ruled out. But, you know, because there is enough instability for storms to fire off in that region. So, yeah, you might hear some thunder. You know, you might hear some thunder, might see some rain, but nothing crazy, nothing really impactful. So you should be good, Stacy. Let's see here. But anyways, yeah, so, you know, there is actually a possibility we could get some storms all the way up towards, you know, some rumbles of thunder, even as high up north as, like, southwest Pennsylvania. Could get a couple of booms of thunder out there. Let's see here. Crystal, 45431. Let's see here. 45431. So I think you're pretty good. I don't think we have anything going on out here. You do have a generalized thunderstorm risk tomorrow. Once again, a few booms of thunder is possible. Honestly, yeah, I don't think you're going to be really dealing with a whole lot. You will be getting some precip. You will. Looks like that'll start late tomorrow night. And it should be out by the morning of the 6th. So late tomorrow night, going into the morning of the 6th, you should get a little bit of precip out there. But yeah, nothing impactful, nothing crazy. No severe weather for you or winter weather, so you should be good. Let's see here. Lake Effect says, how is 14120? 14120. This is up in New York. Oh, I did that wrong. Where am I? Why am I all the way in France? Hold on. Let me redo that here. 14120. I don't know why it took me. Hold on. Actually, I accidentally hit France there. Okay, so you're up here by Buffalo. With this storm system, I don't think you're going to be really getting anything out of this. Actually, let me do this right. We're going to bring you guys over here. So there might be some lake effect I did see. Could be a possibility. You can kind of see behind that system that rolls through. So here's the main storm that we're talking about right now. This is the main system that rolls through. It's out by the late 6th and the early 7th. There could be some lake effect snow on the backside potentially. What's day? Thursday? So that's what, 6th, right? Yeah, honestly, you're not going to be really getting too much, to be honest with you. So yeah, you're pretty good. No advisories, no warnings, no nothing. You look pretty good, my friend. Yeah, nothing really crazy. All right, Julie wants me to take a look at 53704. Let's see, yeah, 53704. This is up in Wisconsin. We do not have any advisories or anything like that for you. Might get some snow, possibly. According to HRRR here, which is one of our high-resolution models. Actually, let me hop you back so you can see what I'm looking at. So there might be a little bit of snow on this here. A little bit of snow, maybe a little bit of ice towards the area, but nothing, not enough to cause any like super crazy issues or anything like that. But you might see a little bit of snow, maybe a little bit of ice mixing in with that. This will be happening pretty much late tomorrow, and it shouldn't last but a couple of hours for the most part, according to HRRR here. But yeah, there's no advisories, no warnings, nothing for you. So, you're not in any big trouble, essentially. So you should be pretty good. The gaming says, hi, what can New York City see from the system? And can New York City see a lot of snow from other systems? So New York City might get some impacts with this, actually. New York City, I believe... Yeah, so the advisories are not for New York City. However, there very well could be some forms of... let's see here. Very well could be some forms of snowfall and whatnot. I think I saw like 2 to 4 for the most part on most of these models here. Let's do HRRR first. Total snow accumulations out there. Yeah, within the range of about 2 to 4 inches from HRRR, possibly towards like New York City, whatnot, out of the storm system. I have noticed that the models are still a little iffy. RAP here suggests more like 3 to 5, upwards of 5. NAM here barely shows any. Anywhere, you know what? 1 to 5 inches. That's going to cut it. It's a little hard to tell, man. Honestly, you can see just how spread these models are right now. Like NAM 3K suggests not even an inch. NAM shows not even an inch. RAP shows like 5 inches. HRRR shows like 3 inches. Euro shows less than an inch. GFS shows about an inch. Honestly, based off of what the majority of these models are suggesting, I'd say about 1 to 3 inches would be a good range to expect. Locally higher could be possible, but kind of the worst case scenario is upwards of 5 inches or so. But in terms of snowfall, no, not really anything super crazy. But yeah, New York City will likely see some snow out of the system. And any future system. So like I mentioned, there is actually another storm that we're watching here. Ignore totals. This is... Gee, that's too far out anyways. So we actually do have another system here coming through on the, the 7th, I think? Going 7th and 8th? Yeah, so right here for February 8th. Starting on like the 7th, going into the 8th here. You can see February 8th here. This is the GFS, which is only like 4 days out. It's been very consistent in the models. We're going to have another winter storm. Driving some potential ice and whatnot up north, towards like Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, some of those regions out there potentially, and of course some snow for like Michigan and whatnot. So yeah, heads up to my northern folks. Could be some impacts for you folks out there. Wisconsin, whatnot. Kath, I saw your comment. How you're saying you're in Wisconsin too. This is going to be a system that you should probably monitor as well. This is for the 8th. Yeah, it seems like the system is just going to be mostly within the 8th here. So keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. It's been very consistent in the models, not just GFS, but also like Euro too. Ignore totals. It's too early for that, I think, still. Why does that little snow accumulation look... Doesn't it look like an arrow to you guys? Or a spoon? I'm losing my mind. I better head off here, guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. Like I mentioned, if you have any further questions before I head off here, feel free to let me know. I'll be more than happy to help. Any more zip codes, if you guys have any that you want me to look at, just to kind of check y'all's risk area and whatnot, feel free to throw that down in the chat and everything. But I do appreciate y'all. Once again, thank you guys for joining. Please be careful. Tomorrow on the table, like I mentioned, we're going to be doing an update live stream for y'all tomorrow afternoon, more than likely. Possible coverage tomorrow evening on severe weather if it's needed, or also, in terms of things, also, winter weather and whatnot as well. We'll see about doing coverage tomorrow. If not, we'll just do another update tomorrow evening, whatnot. So, if you haven't already, guys, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and most importantly, if you guys could share this, help spread the channel, to your friends, your family, anybody you really can, just to help spread the awareness, help spread the channel out there. Be greatly appreciated. And do I sleep? I do sleep. Yes, my girlfriend can confirm that. Yeah, I do sleep quite a bit, actually. My sleep schedule is. That's one thing, man. I tell you, having this as what I do for a living is crazy because my sleep schedule is just like all over the place. Sometimes I could be up all night. Sometimes I could be up all day. There is no sleep schedule with me. It's just whenever, essentially. But Jamie says, thank you so much again. No problem. You're very, very welcome. But anyways, folks, once again, any last call for any questions y'all might have, feel free to let me know. Once again, I appreciate y'all. Once again, huge shout out goes to Kathleen for the $30 on Cash App. Once again, I really appreciate that. Hey, that helps me out a ton, financially. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Helps keep us up and running too, man. So thank you, Kathleen, once again for your support. Huge shout out goes to you, my friend. And all right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining. Like I said, we're gonna head off here for now. We'll be back live tomorrow. We'll have another live stream going on for you guys tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening as well. Possible coverage. If not coverage, then it'll just be another update for you guys. But all right, everybody. Thanks for joining. You guys take care. Stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes. So go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, your family, anybody you're hanging out with in the chat. And all right, everybody. Thanks for joining. You guys take care. Once again, Kathleen, appreciate your support. Thank you. Thank you. And all right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See y'all tomorrow.